Hello everyone, welcome back to another oil tanker update of the week. Here we're going to go over three of my favorite oil tanker companies and talk about news that's going on in the markets that impacts the markets in general and also oil tankers. Okay, so here we focus on Nordic American tankers, Frontline and Euronav. And let's get straight into it. Okay, so NAT was down on the week by about 1%. And here Frontline was up on the week slightly by about, again, 1%, and Euronav was also down on the week, as we can see here, by about close to 2%, all right? And let's just look at the technical chart for NAT. And we can see here that right now the price is sitting at $3.40. This is a 3-month chart. So we can see it tested the bottom at around $2.09 a couple times. There's one, there's two, and there's three, and there's four here. And then finally it slowly started increasing, and now it looks like there's resistance at around the $3 point right here. And here we can see it's slightly going up since those times where it was $2.90. Again, right now sitting at $3.42. We can see finally the MACD cross zero, which indicates a bullish pattern, and the relative strength index is 55. So this stock is neither overbought nor oversold. Okay, so news that came in for NAT this week. Of course, they announced another purchase of shares by Alexander Hansen, which is the son of the CEO, and that he bought 45,000 shares at $3.29. Okay, and I mean, be wary of stuff like this. Of course, they announced this on December 10th. That also correlated to when the stock price jumped by 9%. But again, you have to be wary when press releases like this come out because just note that they don't announce when they sell shares, only when they buy shares. So this guy could have easily sold shares on Friday at like $3.42 and made, pretty significant profit off of 45,000 shares, all right? And I mean, the main news in the oil tanker market, and the reason why there's been optimism over the past month, if we're looking just at the tanker market, we can see that the stock price have increased by about like 7%, is of course the vaccine news, okay? And I signed up for Morning Brew, which you can get all the latest news on the markets in about 5 minutes. And so last night, December 11th, the US joined Britain, Canada, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Mexico in approving the Pfizer BioNTech's vaccine for emergency use. Okay, so this means that now is going to be rolled out to all these countries in a mass scale. Okay, so what this creates is optimism in the market. And what that leads to is, of course, demand for oil going up. We can see here the crude oil futures for January are up, so we can see the crude oil market is up, and it's been going up for the past 6 week. Okay, so oil pulls back this past week just slightly. However, oil gains for the 6th week in a row. Okay, so that's pretty big news, and we can see here the 3-month chart. On the right, we can see it started at $37, and now it's almost $10 above that at $46 a barrel. And again, positive indicator here with the MACD being close to 2 here, and relative strength index 67. Okay, so generally what happens when oil is up, oil tankers are also up because when oil is up, that signifies increased demand of oil, and also increased services related to oil, like the transportation of oil, which of course the oil tanker industry is in. Okay, another piece of news is, I don't know, this is not very relevant, but you can see here there was a presidential citation between Mr. Hansen and South Korea. Kind of interesting to look at. I don't know why they put that on their page, but pretty interesting. Maybe they have a partnership somewhere. I just thought I'd point that out. Kind of funny. And finally, if we're going on to the spot rates, okay, so for Friday, December 11th, we can see the spot rates for Suezmax were 5,200, and here's the 10-day trend, so we can see it's ticking upwards, all right, and this is sort of what we're predicting is an increase in the spot rates as we go to the winter months, because that's what usually happens. Okay, so again, if you want, you can pause the video, look at the spot TC earnings for other vessels like VLCC crude carriers. Okay, and again, let's look now, take a closer look at the weekly tanker rates, all right? So of course, uh, I'll just minimize this a little bit so you can see the rates in full. We can see, of course, 2018 levels have been pretty good for the winter months in terms of the spot rates. However, this year's in 2020, we can see it's relatively flatlining November, slight uptick into December. Hopefully that continues into January and February, especially with a vaccine rollout and the positive vaccine news. However, on the other hand, I should say that there is still some doubt because, the US and other parts of the world are receiving their highest death tolls, highest Roni cases at like they're at an all-time high as well, right? So investors are trying to battle the promise of a vaccine with, of course, the dreaded news of not only employment news but also increased caseloads. All right, and as you can see here, again, slight uptick from last week compared from this week compared to last week for Suezmax vessels from 6.3 thousand to 7.6 thousand, a slight decrease in VLCC carriers, and also a decrease in the Aframax carriers. Okay, and again, spot rates from week to week are highly variable. This doesn't really mean much. It's better to look at the overall trends in the market, which shows that, of course, very depressed rates in 2020 compared to previous years, right? Still heading into December, okay? We'll see what happens in January and onwards, okay? And there's not much, again, to see here. This is just presenting the data in better form. And then there's the yellow line represents the index as a whole for clean and crude carriers. And again, we can see it's relatively flatlining in December compared to the spike that we see in the spot rates across all tanker carriers when there was the oil crises. And here we can see 6.5% of tanker fleet is currently used for floating storage. So that's sort of in line with what we've been seeing. And we can see, of course, VLCC are the carriers that mostly are being used for floating storage. And then if we're looking at tanker deliveries, we can see again lowest tanker deliveries in the pretty much since the past decade. Tankers sold for recycling is also low. So what that means, um, one potential catalyst that will propel oil tankers to earn more money in the near future is, of course, more tankers being sold for scrapping or for recycling, right? We can see that this 44 is the lowest it's been in the past 5 years. So, I mean, hopefully in 2021, as more tankers get older and companies are looking to recycle their fleet or to scrap their fleet, there'll be more tanker scrapping and less tankers on the market, which could supercharge spot rates. Again, it's a very far-fetched position to play, but right now, if you're looking to get into the market, looking at something like a Euronav stock, which is relatively stable, if we're looking even at the 5 years, we can see it's highly variable. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but if you do want to get into the market, this does seem like a relative low position right here as compared to the past like 5 years, okay, where this stock has even reached like $13, which represents a significant upside, okay, and it also does pay a dividend. All right, so back to new order of tankers, also incredibly low, 173 as compared to like 283 in 2017. And that's pretty much it for the spot rates and tanker delivery book uh, for now. And I mean, to conclude, I just want to say that the main concern that's going on in the tanker market right now, as in the tanker market in general, is of course uncertainty. Okay, and I mean, I think this line says it best. Analyst predicts another uncertain year for shipping stocks. Okay, because investors right now are battling again vaccine news with increased uh, virus loads. They're battling terrible unemployment data with the potential for future prospects of people being free to again go into the market and buy stuff. So it's just there's so much uncertainty. There's also the demise of oil, which might take anywhere from 10 to 50 years down the line, and until then we'll still need oil tankers to ship oil from place to place. So there's a lot going on, and I mean again, I'm not advising you to either buy or sell oil tanker stocks right now. Of course, I'm still holding my position. I'm down about 40% on NAT. Um, and I mean, there's a lot of lessons to be learned there. But again, I'm holding for the dividends. Of course, NAT is paying out a 4-cent dividend for every share you own. That's payable, I believe, on December like 20 something. So I'm holding for the dividends and holding for an appreciation in this share price because I do believe that we are reaching a low, right? Just look at the year to date, okay? This stock should not be trading at like $3.42. It usually trading well above that, okay? So I do believe in the near to long term future, maybe 5 years out, and I do believe I will be able to make a profit off of NAT, okay? So these are just my opinions. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, there's many links that you can check out down below, pretty self-explanatory. There's pretty much if you want to trade with zero commissions, and if you're Canadian, there's Wealthsimple platform. You get $10, I get $10. There's my Patreon, and other TikTok, Instagram, if you want to check me out. But anyways, that's it from me. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.